Welcome to HDTV. You're now rocking with your boy. Former Black Eyed Peas singer. Oh, no. Oh, Lord. Sorry, y'all. Former Black Eyed Peas singer Kimhill responds to will.i.am suggesting group isn't embraced by black community. Kimhill has spoken out about some of the comments Black Eyed Peas leader will.i.am made in recent days, congratulating him on the group's massive success, but also criticizing him for failing to see how the group intentionally distanced itself from the black community. While appearing on Wyclif's podcast Run That Back, will.i.am said it hurt his feelings that the chart-topping group was no longer considered in his eyes a black group because of their international success. It still hurts a little bit that we're not considered a black group because we got that big. And when you think of Black Eyed Peas as no longer urban or black culture, which is not good for the black community, that Black Eyed Peas is not looked at as a black group because we've had international success, will.i.am told Wyclif. He went on to compare the situation to how other genres of music like rock and roll, jazz, and country music are no longer considered black despite being created by black people. The comments caused a wave of criticism online from people who noted that the group went in a very obviously different direction in 2000 after years of performing as a neo-soul hip-hop group. From 95 to 2000, Hill was the lead vocalist as the group toured and produced music similar to groups like Outkast, A Tribe Called Quest, and others. Hill says she left the group in 2000 due to pressure from label executives urging her to sexualize herself more in their music and performances. The group eventually held auditions to replace her, originally considering future star Nicole Scherzinger for the role, but settling on singer Stacey Ann Ferguson, also known as Fergie. The group then shot to stardom with the hit song Where's the Love. Black folks looked to Twitter and Instagram to point out that the switch from Hill to Ferguson was what separated the group from the black community. Yeah. One person said, I'm confused. His group changed their formula to go mainstream to pull in a more white audience. They let the black female singer go and filled in with Fergie, but he doesn't understand why black folks surrender genres they created. He knows firsthand. One other person said Black Eyed Peas started as socially conscious alternative hip hop group, but they had to sacrifice a lot of their core to achieve international success. We can't dismiss something that he chose to leave behind. will.i.am said people stopped calling the Black Eyed Peas a black group because they got too big, lol. Or it was because they replaced Kimhill with Fergie and started making now that's what I call music. um Also, with several people mentioning her online, Kimhill felt the need to address the controversy and took to Instagram and share her thoughts about the statement. I rarely ever speak, and you can find this on Instagram. Her handle name is always Kimhill, and she puts on there my response to at I am Will and then at Wyclef Jean. I rarely ever speak on the issues, RE quotations, my history with at BEP, which is Black Eyed Peas. But since the interview, the lack of support from the black community, Black Eyed Peas has gone viral and so many of my supporters are blessing my name. It's only befitting I'm about to work surrounding hashtag anti-blackness, and it's not ever an easy conversation, so here we go. Shout out to at Black Puerto Rican PhD for helping me call it what it is and the tireless work you're doing. With love, Kim and Cassius. Hashtags Kim Hill, Kim Healing. Hashtag Black and Proud. Hashtag support black women. Hill said that she, like many people, felt the group had long strayed from making the black music that they started out producing in the 1990s. She spoke passionately about what she called cultural smudging and said her role in the group's rise to fame was being erased. Even as Jean mentioned the group's early beginnings, it's not enough for me to be a black woman, she said. She said she has always fought for the blackness and felt like she not only had to sexualize herself but exotify blackness. Hill said that she felt pressure to move outside of her blackness in order to help the group gain more success. But she went on to slam will.i.am in the group for demanding acceptance from a community they had actively shunned since they found success. You want to have the same community that helped build you and was the foundation of us coming out of the native tongue movement to now hold you in the space we now hold Mos Def and De La Soul and Tribe, Fife, and Slum Village. These are all our people because we all toured with them, and all these brothers hold me to the highest regard to this day, she said. And I don't get it from you, not publicly, she continued. You want that same community to validate you, and you put a white girl in that place. In 2019, the New York Times produced a short documentary on Hill and her start with the Black Eyed Peas. She spoke candidly about the group's initial success as a Los Angeles based alternative to gangster rap in the 90s, but she noted that even as they toured with major acts like Eminem and No Doubt, will.i.am and the other two rappers still struggled financially. The group began to be pressured by label executives to shift away from the neo soul music and image they had to a more pop focused image. For Hill, the final straw was when executives asked her specifically to sexualize herself more. There was new management now, so there was a new set of expectations and pressure. It just started to get clumsy and messy. You want me to grind on will.i.am in a bathing suit? That was being asked of me. Never by the guys, but from the executive level, she said. How far out on this plank do you want me to go? The tug of war was about my sexuality and how much of that I was literally willing to strip down. I never wanted to be objectified while doing my music, she added. So, let me see something if I could play this thing. Hold on.
If you were Panasonic headphones or Sony headphones, you didn't know Beats was just gonna come and take your lunch.
Facts.
And so in 2007, in 2004,
This is will.i.am.
You know, we were just trying to get on. You know, we're not like when you think of like I'm a black dude, but when you think of Black Eyed Peas, we got so big that, and it hurts. It kind of hurt it still hurts a little bit. Like we're not considered a black group because we got that big. And when you think of Black Eyed Peas, you don't think of it's no longer like urban or black culture, which is it's not good for the black community that Black Eyed Peas is not looked at as a black group because we've had international success, and that should be credited to the black community more so than letting it be adopted. But that's just a thing that we suffer from all the time. Like when you think of jazz, you no longer think of black anymore. When you think of rock and roll, you don't think of black anymore. Like that, all that. I don't know why we have that. When you think of even country, you don't think of black. Like a lot of the things that we create and we invent, we dispose of or it gets stolen from us to the point where there's no association to its origins. So to answer your question,
So he basically answered his own question, like, and if you want to, please go see this interview with will.i.am and Wyclef. You could type it in. It's on YouTube, and it'll give you the full interview of them. It's a very good listen. You guys ought to look at it. Let me see this.
believe that our brand of hip hop was being embraced. Hip hop is progressive. It started to regress at one
This is
point in
Kim
time.
Hill
So we took it in our duties to progress it again.
early
We
on
were
with Will I
happy
Am.
at a time in hip hop where it really wasn't okay to just be happy. This whole LA underground movement, they really loved us. We rocked the House of Blues, and then they got to go back to East LA. With gangs and uncles in jail, and the pressure started coming to like soften it up and make it super commercial. It was like, we're not really going to do that, are we? And the guys were like, you don't have to go back to East LA if this doesn't work out. There was new management now, so there was a whole different set of expectations and pressure. It just started to get clumsy and messy. You want me to grind on Will I Am in a bathing suit? That was being asked of me, never by the guys. That was happening from an executive level. How far out on this plank do you want me to go? The tug of war was about my sexuality and how much of that I was willing to like literally strip down. This really deep brother sisterhood was starting to get affected by the machine. I didn't want that burden on my shoulders. So I wrote a letter to management and said, nope, saw you on TV and you were happy. And I just need you to know I'm happy for you. Like, you did it. He spilled and he was like, I really miss you. It's different. And I just knew we'd be fine. No one handed them anything. They worked their asses off. They deserve it. They deserve it.
So basically, Kim Hill, was telling the truth. Like, they felt like they didn't have to go back to, they had to go back to East LA where it was rough, and that's a lot of the brothers today that's in the neighborhoods, in the slums. And some of them, I don't blame them if they decide to say, you know what, I sell my soul or I sell out to get to that bigger money. Because you have to understand, if you didn't grow up with money in your pocket, it's very hard to not go that direction. And I don't want people to bash Black Eyed Peas or blow them away and everything, like trying to discredit them. No, they basically did what they could do. They were a group for a long time. They tried to stay black. But Will I Am, this is to you first. You have to understand when you cross over, you have to understand when you replace a black woman, especially a strong black woman, in Kim Hill for a white, blonde haired Fergie, nobody's going to accept you no more, dog. That's just how it goes. That's just how it goes, man. The reason Outkast and them guys got praised for what they did is because they stayed black. They stayed to who they were. You guys were a great group in the 90s. I love listening to them in the 90s. And then when they came with the white girl Fergie, I was like, they got a white girl now? What's going on? Even though the music they made was good, but at the same time, when you leave that neo soul, you leave a lot of your brothers and sisters behind. And a lot of your brothers and sisters don't like how you did what you did. And Kim Hill, I give a shout out to her because I think she has an Instagram post. She says something too. Um, Hold on.
Cassius Hill. Happy New Year. Black folks will say Happy New Year's, but it's just one. We're going to do 1 year at a time. Happy New Year. I've come to you today. I did not think my first post of 2021 was going to be about this, but I've been getting notifications all the day long about a post that is making some noise that Will I Am did with Wyclef. What up, Wyclef? And I'll
and then I want to talk about it a little bit. So, I know I'm kind of old school, so this element's away.
If you were Panasonic headphones or Sony headphones, you didn't know Beats was just gonna come and take your lunch. Facts. And so in 2004, Black Eyed Peas, we were just trying to get on. We're not like, when you think of, like, I'm a black dude, but when you think of Black Eyed Peas, we got so big that, and it hurts. It kind of hurt it still hurts a little bit. Like, we're not considered a black group because we got that big. And when you think of Black Eyed Peas, you don't think of, it's no longer like urban or black culture, which is it's not good for the black community that Black Eyed Peas is not looked at as a black group, because we've had international success, and that should be credited to the black community more so than letting it be adopted. But that's just a thing that we suffer from.
And this is Kim Hill playing it, and she's giving her response to the interview on Instagram. If you want to see this, you can go to Always Kim Hill to her Instagram, and it'll show what she says. And also go watch the Wycliffe Jean show with Will I Am on it, the full interview. It's a very good interview. You guys ought to go see it.
I'm filming this on January 1st, 2021, and my morning started, honestly, with tons of tings and pings between my email, between Instagram, and tons of Twitter activity. And then it just got on the shade room. And so I'm like, you know what, let me put on my Facts of Life pink blouse and pull my hair down, I have my little red tooth comb, and let's do this. So, this is the quarantine team, and I asked Cassius, as I often do, do I have this right? Because of course I read the comments, and then I went to the full video, which is Wyclef and Will I Am. I guess I released this on YouTube. And so I read the comments as well, and it's just, I have so much support, especially since I came forward with the New York Times piece at the end of 2019. And I had a lot of support prior to that. And this is such a significant black girl moment that I feel like people keep snatching our edges in our wig. And they should just let us have this moment, like, finally, right? But just in case I'm being hypersensitive because the woman that people are talking about is me, I asked my son, so I want you to be candid, I want you to be brief. And when you saw that clip, what was your response? That's appropriate for a 10-year-old when we're talking about adults. Go ahead.
I was really just thinking, hip-hop is and still is one of the biggest black genres of music. It's hip-hop, it's rap, it's, when you think about that, you think of black people in the black community. When you sort of drift away from that and you're not doing hip-hop anymore, and you sort of go to pop and auto-tune and robotic voices and that kind of stuff, you're not in those black roots anymore. So I don't understand how you're not even going to talk about the black girl that you had in your group, and you're going to skip to 2004, and you're going to say, I don't understand why the black community isn't embracing us. I just didn't understand that. So if you, yeah.
Do you feel you can be objective even if that black woman wasn't your mom? Like, if you just saw that on the strength, and let me just give a little context. Because Cassius was going to a very private school that had a lot of celebrity parents, which I don't consider myself one, but Oh, okay. Cash, I really never got into, thank you, what I did. I'm Cassius's mom, and I pulled back from the industry for a myriad of reasons, but really specifically for motherhood. And so Cassius had no idea until the documentary came out what my role was and what my flip was in the Black Eyed Peas. So when he then, because of suggestions, started seeing everything from Fergie's national anthem to early work from the Black Eyed Peas once I left to now, he was like, he honestly kind of couldn't believe it was the same group. And so my question, going back with that bit of information before I get into my take, do you feel you can be objective even though I'm your mom and some of this has to do with me? Or if you saw the old Black Eyed Peas and the new Black Eyed Peas and will.i.am made that statement about Black culture, do you feel that you would still be able to be objective?
I would probably have the same response even if you weren't my mother.
Okay.
It's just because no matter what, it's still the same circumstances. Any black woman in a group and they don't have any credit for the things that they did in the role that they had in the early versions of the Black Eyed Peas, which was the real hip hop, the part that black people and the black community did credit. And then when you start to drift away from the big genre that black people were talking about and that black people really had, so once you start to drift away from that, you don't have those black roots anymore.
Okay. Thank you. I know you want to go downstairs with your kickboxing stuff, and yeah. All right. Thank you, Cassius. King Cassius is my son.
See you.
I'm out of the mouth of babes. So I wanted that perspective because even for a 10-year-old, it to me is obvious that it's a bit insulting that. Okay, now I'll speak to you directly, Will. I love you, okay? I've made it plain. I've made it clear. And I have supported the Peas post my departure publicly and privately. I've reached out to all three of the guys over the years at all their big milestones and congratulated them, and that has come from a very pure place. And I can say that not really being a fan of the direction or the music at all. Okay? I joke with people, and I say this with love, like, I was in the Black Eyed Peas, like, it became the Navy Beans, or like something else. It's not my band. It's not what I was in, and that's totally fine. But Will, why I'm coming on camera today and addressing you is because for you to make that statement as if the onus is on the black community to celebrate you and the band when you didn't celebrate us. It's almost like there's this cultural smudging. And for the record, when my doc got on YouTube, and it's at, I don't know, like 5.4 million views with I had to write it down, almost 19,000 comments. The majority of those comments that come from black women clearly say it feels like cultural smudging, like, yeah, I believe her and I think it's commendable, but y'all also didn't have her back. You didn't go after her. And while I'm not going to get into that here because I still stand firmly behind everything I said in my doc, it is like when you can come behind that and say this after black women handed a new president to this country. We did that. And everybody from Eva Longoria, still can't, and I understand she apologized, but it's like that same thing of it's like it almost hurts it to slip off your tongue that a black woman had a part in something really magnificent. And I don't understand it. I was very confused when in this video, as did in reading the comments, you started in 2004 and so we were on the come up. When I joined the group in 1995, I was a part of 2 critically acclaimed albums that I helped produce, I co-wrote on. I performed all over the world with y'all, as did another black woman, Macy Gray. Like, how does that get left out of the conversation? And you're sitting next to Wyclef, who was also there, and you started 2004, and then they flashed to a picture of y'all with Fergie. To me, I've heard in certain spaces that when you've had the opportunity to say my name, you don't, but to actually see it, to actually start 2021 off and actually see that you just would not talk about the evolution of the Black Eyed Peas at a time when Wyclef referenced it, and I was there, and you referenced the song he produced for the Black Eyed Peas that I produced the vocals for with two women, one of which has passed away. Like, it's mind-blowing. And so it feels like kind of this cultural smudging or erasing of the imprint of a powerful black woman. And I'm here to say, as that powerful black woman, and you to say, you know, with all your money and your private jet and your beautiful home and your cars, well, you're going to have more money, and I'm okay saying this, you might have more money than I ever have in my lifetime. But I have something that you can't buy. And this is what I was talking about in the doc, where I said I have my happy. You know, like, I'm on my second home. The Lexus in the driveway is paid for. It ain't brand new. It wasn't brand new when I bought it. But I have what I need. But I always stayed rooted in my blackness. And I fought for that when I was on Interscope as a soloist.
You hear that, y'all?
And I constantly got pushback. I constantly was, like, it's not just a sexual thing, but being kind of pressured to, like, you know, exotify kimhill. Like, it's not enough for me to be a black woman. Like, there's got to be some Asian in there. There's got to be some Indian in there. Like, it wasn't enough to be like, I use a rat tooth comb to push this down. Now, it ain't a perm. And with some mousse and water, she lays on down. But my point is, you're saying this in a moment, and it's no diss to Shakira. Oh, my God, my Latina sisters, please understand me. You got a song where you're bigging up Latina women, and not one of the women represented in the video was an Afro-Latina. Not one of them had nappy hair or was brown skin. So you want to have the same community that helped build you and was the foundation of us coming out of the native tongue movement, to now hold you in the space we hold Mos Def and De La and Tribe and Fife, may he rest in peace, and Slum Village. And these are all our people because we all toured with them, and all these brothers hold me to this day to the highest regard. And I don't get it from you, not publicly. And you want that same community to validate you, and you put a white girl in that place. And you've been in platforms on Oprah where you could have said, and by the way, we started somewhere different. And like you, Oprah, there was a black girl here. You had that opportunity and you didn't do it. And I kept quiet and I minded my black business and I put my head down, right? And I held my household together and I'm raising my son and I've done a kidney transplant and raising money for Next of Kin and so on and so on. But today, in the midst of the awakening and the turn of this crazy thing that's going on, is the day I'm gonna say, like, I'm done. I'm done. And I thank every single person, and I'm gonna name some of y'all: Sons of Baldwin, Shaka Bars, Black Wall Street, Black Culture News, the list goes on, that have shared this story and called me a queen. Thank you. That have celebrated me as a black woman. Thank you. The sisters that I do this work for. Thank you. There's a black Puerto Rican, she goes by Black Puerto Rican PhD. Her name is Rosa Clemente. And I want to thank you, sis, because I just discovered you and saw you bring Eva, Lord Jesus. I just said it. Because she's just on the thing. I'm getting all confused. That made the comment on MSNBC about the real heroes here are Latina women, which is, y'all are heroes. But it didn't go down like that in the election. We can't recreate this narrative. And because she did that video where she talked about anti-blackness and how dangerous it is, then Eva reached out and said, I need to own this. How can I help? And we can hold space for you in that. But I'm sorry. All the people that support me and love me and know this work I'm doing around blackness and anti-blackness, that blew me up today, people I don't know, I owe it to them, because they're going into these DMs and they're going onto these comments and they're saying, no, she's our queen. This is Kim Hill. She's a medicine woman. She's doing this powerful work, and she's doing it she's a stately woman. Thank you for that. And she's doing it, still showing y'all love. So I love you, Wyclef. I love that I saw you and Will on a platform as black men saying you love each other. I love that y'all said you're going to do this collaboration like a Fuji Peas kind of thing, and the female that you're going to bring in is an African woman. I hope you do that. I hope you do that. Because I'm just black enough for there to not be a thumb big enough to smudge me out of this story. And I've been fine with it. God has me covered. But so many of the young black women that love me and follow me, they don't have it like me. They don't have enough representation. They don't have a song where somebody's being like, I love black girls. Do you understand that? And at an important moment, right now, when black women keep holding y'all down, it's still the reindeer games. So I do this work because I've been called to do this work. I'm grateful to have the voice and the peace of mind to do it. I'm grateful I never assigned agency of my body and my sexuality over to an industry that clearly could care less or couldn't care less about my black behind, because my mama raised me to know better. I hope there's healing. I do. Eva Longoria. And Eva, you're in Sylvie's Love, which is an amazing film. It was in post-production when you probably made this statement, and I'm not trying to reopen this stuff, but it's in a film with a black director and black writer and a lot of black producers, and you can say that. We have to do better. We have to do better. I will stay pulled up for y'all. I will keep this rat tooth comb out and lay these edges down, and I will speak my truth. And I'm not worried about protecting anybody anymore. Well, if y'all don't know that this is coming from love, then I don't know what to tell you. That's your where is the love right there. And on this New Year's Day, let me get my Black Eyed Peas started, because don't think for 1 second I don't make Black Eyed Peas on New Year's Day. I love y'all. Thank you.
And that was Kim Hill. I know this video's gone long, but she told the truth. You didn't even mention her, and you went right to 2004, and then over the years you haven't mentioned her. So look, I understand both parties. And the world needs to understand, when you want to make the money you want to make, you got to sell out. If you want to, you don't have to sell out. You don't. You can make your money independently, or you can make your money going in, doing your job, going home. You don't have to become a buffoon, like how they got Shaquille O'Neal on TV, on TNT, being a buffoon. You don't have to, shake your booty on Instagram like LeBrownies does all the time. You don't have to do these things to show that you're great, or to make your money, or to be respected. And will.i.am, you have to understand, my brother, you sold out, bruh. Yes, you financially have put yourself where you are straight for years to come, and your kids are straight years to come. But dude, you sold your soul, man. And this is what happens. Blacks are not going to respect you after what you did. They're not. So you got to live with it. Either live with it or move on from it. But I'm glad to see Kim Hill is doing well. I'm glad she's looking good. I miss her in the group, because those 2 albums she was on were classics. And the other albums with Fergie, with will.i.am made, they were good and stuff. And it's not Fergie's fault. Fergie did what she did. She's a white girl. She got put in a position to do what she had to do. But will.i.am, like Thanos in the movie said, what did it cost you? Everything, which it did. Because you're not going to be loved by the blacks. They're not going to forgive you. And then you still go on not giving her or Kim Hill recognition. And we know why you're not saying her name or bringing her up. Because you don't want the other side to hear this, because you still got to make your money. You still need that residual income. You still need them to keep bumping your music and playing your stuff. That's why you're not mentioning her name. That's why on the show, the Wycliffe show, they showed Fergie. They didn't go and show Kimhill, because you want them to keep in their mind that that's Black Eyed Peas. Right? Exactly. Thank you for listening. Like, comment, subscribe, share this, hit the notification bell to select all to receive upcoming content. We're having a StreamYard Sunday night after all the games on Saturday and Sunday have been played, and we're going to give our picks for the following week. If you'd like to donate to the page, you can cash at me at the word welcome, the number 2, and an HDIITV. Thank you for listening, and we are out. Deezy.